Russia has just launched the largest strike on Ukrainian infrastructure of the entire war, throwing $1 billion of ordnance at Ukrainian forces. And just what did they achieve and why did they go all in on just a single day? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's talk about this. Okay, so the big news is December 29th, Russia launched probably the largest strike, not probably, it was the largest strike that Ukraine has suffered, I think, since the start of the war. To give you an idea, let's see if we can get the scale here. ISW has some great reporting on it. The scale is absolutely unbelievable. It has a series of missile and drone strikes, varying sizes, various combinations of drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles. Shahed 136s, Iskanders, KH-59s, just a huge arsenal. Let's see if we can get it. So it says here 120 missiles, 36 drones. Okay, it says a total of 160 projectiles in all, including KH 101s, 555s, and 55 missiles. These are cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. So you're looking at, again, not just a lot of projectiles, right? 160 is eye-watering, but a huge variety. Remember, the U.S. in taking out like an Iranian military base, for example, will do 3 cruise missiles. So 160 is absolutely eye-popping. But by most accounts, Ukrainian air defenses actually were able to thwart a large number of them. But there's a reason that Russia went all in on a single day. And before I talk about that, I just wanted to say that the live streams are coming back Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. I'm going to be doing a live stream where we're going to look at some of the overall directions that the war has taken, a sort of end of the year live stream culminating. But it's a great chance to ask questions about anything related to the war, my experiences. So I hope you'll join us, right? Be sure to just hit subscribe and hit the little bell and it should show you. And of course, as always, guys, if you want access to the uncensored combat footage, you can check out the premium site, combatvetnews.com. Okay, so here's why Russia seems to have done that. It's done a lot of work, actually like 6 months or more of experimentation with different drone and missile combinations to try to figure out if there is a one that will thwart Ukrainian air defenses. Now, I've talked in previous videos about the fact that Russia's use of drones is sometimes almost comically inept, where they will throw very, very small numbers of drones, phase them in, throw them one at a time. Literally, this is something that level designers in like mobile point and click games. I mean, Fruit Ninja has more complex attack systems than the Russian military, apparently. But apparently those simple efforts were actually just experiments to try to tease out where Ukrainian air defenses are and sort of how they track, acquire, and engage targets. And what it seems like they may have done is actually relied on their Shaheds, the slower moving drones, as distraction to draw in Ukrainian radar and air defenses, and then then tried to have the cruise and ballistic missiles move through that kind of drone swarm. Now, the most reports say that yes, a large number did get through. It was unusually large by Russian standards. Usually, Russia has, it seems to like about 95% of Russian projectiles or missiles or drones are shot down in a typical strike. So they'll launch 20 and you'll see about 2 get through, or 1. Of course, because Russia is relying on these deep strike weapons, they can only target critical infrastructure, industrial and military facilities. They can't target anything that moves, a base that could relocate, a tank facility, right? They need to target basically static infrastructure, which we've seen some video that I can't show you here. That can be even like apartment complexes, which don't offer military value, obviously, and don't actually degrade the morale. It's been shown that attacking civilian infrastructure doesn't really produce like war exhaustion. It actually hardens people's resolve because they support the war because they feel personally attacked by Russia. Whereas when the war is some far distant thing in another part of the world, people actually don't support it because you have to think like sort of like the U.S. Iraq War, right? When Americans felt personally attacked by the terrorists on 9/11, none of whom were Iraqi, by the way, they supported the war because they felt like it was something that happened to them at home. But 10 years later, when that memory had faded and there weren't any major terror attacks against the United States, a lot of people said, what are we doing over there, right? So Russia, again, shooting itself in the foot and not really thinking strategically about its use of these weapons. What's also interesting, though, is just the scale. Right? You know that the Russian military is pretty strapped for cash in a lot of ways, but it still decided, they still elected, let's see if we can find it here, they still elected to throw a lot at this. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually a Ukrainian economic news. So it sounds like The Economist for Ukrainians, basically. Reported that strike likely cost Russia around $1.27 billion US, assuming, of course, 720,000 to launch the Shaheds, 5 million to launch the Ka-47s, and of course, $1 billion of those dollars was those H-101 missiles. Those are advanced ballistic missiles at a cost of $13 million per missile. So one theory, you may know that the Ukrainians, when they hit that landing ship 2 or 3 days ago, there's some reports that, one, it enraged Putin. He was absolutely livid. Two, that it was carrying Shahed drones, something that Russia has been working tirelessly to try to acquire and field. So having dozens of them be destroyed at once. So I suspect this sort of impulsive strike, again, $1 billion, only really Vladimir Putin, I think, would have the authority to approve the Russian MOD to burn $1 billion of gear in a single night, right? I mean, the Russian defense budget in 2021 was, let's see if it can, so it's got, here we go. Let's see if we can try to scale it down. They said it was a $3 trillion budget. I think this is rubles. Okay, 66 billion, right? This is Stockholm International Peace Institute, 2021. Russia's military spending 66 billion, guys. So the whole Russian military, right? Not just their war in Ukraine, likely being a $66 billion expense and spending one day throwing, what's that work out to? Like 2% of your entire defense budget at Ukraine is absolutely preposterous. But here's the thing, guys. Russia hasn't been resting on its laurels, right? These are expensive for a reason. And here's actually footage. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube. I'm literally begging you here. It's just a cruise missile. But look, note this. We think it's an Iskander. Look, it's a cruise missile, but it's deploying thermal decoys, flares, to over what it thinks is Ukrainian air defense sites. I've never seen a cruise missile deploying defensive flares to try to thwart missile systems, right? Air defense missiles. So I've never seen something like this. This is totally new stuff. And it's a sign that Russia isn't sleeping, right? I make fun of them sometimes because some of their innovations are pretty dumb, like spray painting one of their drones black. But you see stuff like this and you realize they are making a lot of advances in their technical capabilities in this war and shouldn't be taken lightly. Anyway, guys, that is really all I had for you. I'll see you guys in the live stream. Check out, of course, strikegum.com. My site, we have a huge sale going on right now. And of course, thanks to everybody, all the members of combatvetnews.com. I could not do this without you. See you in the next one. Cheers.